Origi!
Hello and welcome to the Liverpool Way podcast. Spurs have been on life support all week, but a visit to Dr. Slot has sorted them out and they return to London with a spring in their step after Richarlison's last-minute winner at the Cop End cancelled out another free kick from Dom Szoboszlai. I'm Dave Usher, editor at liverpoolway.co.uk, and drawing the short straw for this one are Paul Natton and Julian Richards. So two of us were there today and one of us was supposed to but didn't make it. So Jules, we may as well start with you, and what a shitty day you've had.
Yeah, got absolutely done over by the traffic on the M62 to the point where I've the estimated time left in the drive was 2 hours, and it stuck at 2 hours for about half an hour. No matter how far I was going, it wasn't going down. I think Brownie said there was a big accident around north of Manchester, which was causing some of the tailbacks. But like, this is all the way back in Huddersfield. Made the wrong call. I don't usually go on the M62. I usually go through the Peak District, and come out south of Manchester, or go Chesterfield by Manchester Airport, or the old way I used to go was via Derby and Stoke and up that way. But I went that way, and yeah, it was going to take me, I think, if I'd have pushed through it, it'd taken me roughly 4 hours to do a drive on a Sunday afternoon that should take about 2 hours and 10 minutes. And I just had enough. My arrival time was being pushed back, and it was getting pushed back by about an hour. And at this point, I just thought I pulled over. It was when it told me to go off the M62 because of the traffic, and then it put me back on the M62 after taking me through a heavily congested Huddersfield because of all the traffic. It had taken off the motorway. Faults with me for listening to Google Maps, but again, what are you going to do in this? That's what the point of it is when traffic's about. And I just thought, I've had enough, I'm going home. Even though it meant losing the credit as a member, which is a policy that the club have put in. I understand why they put it in. I despise it because I don't think it's exactly fair compared to how they treat season ticket holders. I'm not going to go into it, but I don't think it's a fair policy, because I was on the road, I was going, I just got, how much are you meant to tolerate? How much traffic are you meant to tolerate before you go, that's enough? Especially when all you're going to watch is the same old trash that's being put out on the pitch. Mm-hmm. It's not like, I'm not like trying to be a fair weather supporter. Like I've put in the years and the miles, and it was just today. I lost all energy for it, and I just came home. And I think it was when I realised getting home would be quicker than actually getting into Liverpool, despite the fact that I'd been in the car for over 2 hours. Then I was like, right, okay, that's enough. So I came home and watched it at home instead. So my seat sat empty today, and I'll lose the credit. And if I asked the club about it, the club would say, "Oh, that's a shame. Go fuck yourself," because they don't care. So, that's a me problem. Everyone else's problem is what is currently being put up on the pitch. Today was fairly bad. I don't want to go into, I've had a bad day, so I don't want to go into like mad superlatives or adjectives or hyperbole or whatever, but at what point?
To be appoint Frank Lampard, is that where you're going?
Top of the championship. I would say this isn't like, if I think back to the last 15-20 years of the end of managers' reigns, so I think of like Benitez, I think of Hodgson. I don't really think of the end of Kenny's. So I'll leave him out.
Yeah.
But I think Rodgers, and I think the sort of feeling, this isn't quite like that. But it's definitely not the end of Hodgson, because he wasn't wanted in the first instance, and it was toxic because of the ownership situation. It kind of has a feeling with Rodgers, but I think people sort of knew he was a bit of a fraud, but we bought into it because Suarez was covering up a lot of the cracks. A lot of the, you sort of ignored it because the football going forward for one season was scintillating. So you say, oh, okay. And then as Suarez is sold and it starts to down, like, you sort of see the flaws even larger. I don't feel like this is that with Slot. I still don't dislike him as a man, nor do I really bear him any ill will. But at the same time, this is like something slowly rot, like an apple or a grape slowly rotting on the tree or the vine. It's not right. This is not right, and there are problems with squad composition and there are problems with the players we've brought in. That's all fine. He can't wave a magic wand and fix those. But the problems that are fixable, like tempo, when are we pressing, when aren't we pressing, keeping concentration switched on for the full duration of a game. Those are things he can fix, and
Yeah.
he is having no luck in fixing them. So I suppose it comes down to your tolerance. And I would suppose I would ask anybody who listens, the question is, like, I've said offline a lot, as you two know, about, like, because of the way Liverpool as a fan base is, the manager is the top. It's never a player, it's always the manager. The cult of personality of the manager at Liverpool is a thing. And so there's always a reluctance to call for a manager to be sacked or relieved of his duties or whatever, because that's not what we do, in quotation marks. That's not. But I would ask anybody who's not there yet, who isn't sure, like, do you see Arne Slot as the man to turn this around? Forget about that he's won the league. Forget about the squad that he's got, and it's not all his fault there. Do you think he is the man to turn this around? Do you think he is capable of turning this around and turn us back into a title-winning, a title-winning challenging team? So if you're not winning it, challenging for it. And then secondly, to produce football that's actually pleasing to watch. Now, I've never subscribed to early Millennium Arsenal fans who thought that, like, everything had to be scintillating all the time. It doesn't. There are times when you have to grind games out, and it's not going to be pretty. It's happened plenty of times under good managers. But what we are seeing here is a consistent. I mean, I'll say a dirge, but a dirge is more a sound than a sight. But I just, it's like a dirge. It's just like it's low hum, relentlessly dull football. And I know the league has changed, the composition of how teams play has changed, and I know you have to adapt and trends come and go. But I'm pretty certain that, like, what little I've seen of Fulham or Bournemouth, they're not playing this kind of low tempo, low energy shit. So there must be a room somewhere where we can up our tempo and our intensity and give opposition teams a harder time, because we're not seeing that at the moment. And again, I would ask, do you think Arne Slot's the man to do that? I haven't really thought he's the man to do that for, what month are we in? March. So 6 months?
Oh yeah,
October?
October. Yeah, same.
Yeah. October, I think it was when I
Mm.
went offline. I was like, I think my words were, he's cooked. This isn't being turned around by him. And that's not like my short-termism or my cynicism, both of which are things that exist. It is just, it is a life lived watching football, and specifically Liverpool, and knowing that when the coin turns, once it's turned, it's very difficult to turn it back. It's so hard to come back from it. Um, and I just don't see how he comes back from this. And again, we're always in the same thing. He says all the right things, but mate, you're the one who's fixing it. Like, I can say what I want here.
Mm.
You can, Paul can. We can all say what we want, but none of us have any influence on it. He does. He says it all and goes, and nothing changes. We're in the same spot. We're seeing results now that we would have seen 5 months ago, 4 months ago. Nothing is changing. I don't think personnel will change. The players don't look fully invested. They're not checked out. I would never accuse them of that, but they also don't look like they're fully bought in anymore. And I just don't know what the answer is. But I know, I mean, it was inevitable Richarlison would be the one to score today.
Yeah.
Yeah. At this point, I've got to give Richarlison props for continuously doing it. Like, because often it blows up in his face when he does it at Anfield as well. So again, I've got to give him props for that. But like Spurs are, their manager is Spurs like Tudor is very combative. He doesn't seem to. He knows he's there short term. He's not really building for anything. He's there for a payday. He's like, well, if I get them out, great. If not, I've still been paid, and I go off and go somewhere else. It's not that important to him. They're on a downward spiral. There's a terrible I mean, like anyone thinks there's negativity around Slot and Liverpool, like around Spurs, it's like 100-fold. And yet, once again, for the last half hour, there was only one team that looked like they were going to score and were trying to win the game. It's like, what's happening here? What's going on? And, I'm still not sure that I could trust, as you have said many times, Dave, that I can trust the hierarchy, the day-to-day hierarchy of Liverpool to do what probably needs to be done. Whether the week-to-week, month-to-month hierarchy in Boston thinks differently, I don't know. But the day-to-day hierarchy at Liverpool, whether they know what needs to be done or whether it'll be all arse saving or covering, I don't know. But this is what's happening. Like it's just testament to how bad the league is that we're in fifth and still got a chance at the Champions League. But this is a woeful title defence. It's not acceptable after all the money spent that the squad is this unbalanced, that the team is this boring and such low mentality. And I mean, I just don't really want to watch it anymore. I don't know what else to say.
I know. I don't.
So
Yeah, I mean, sounds. Let's have a podcast just of sounds of how we've.
I like this question there.
Go on.
No one thinks there's a way back for this manager. Absolutely no one. So have you spoken to any Red who thinks he's going to turn it around? No one does. Absolutely no one does.
Not too many. I don't know anyone personally.
There won't be tonight. No one really does. People have got. No one really does. Anfield was bad today. There was booing at full time throughout the game. Second half, fucking hell, the atmosphere was horrendous. People can smell it. It's been going on for months and months and months and months and months. There's tickets on sale today. I can't remember a time when in the last 20 years when there's been tickets on sale on the day of the game.
Seat next to me was empty.
Return tickets where people didn't want to go. It's an absolute shit show. I think me and Brownie were the first to go on the pod on the 4th of October after that Chelsea debacle. And as Jules has said, absolutely nothing has changed. The problems are still there. He trots out after every game. Blah 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 blah. He's so dispassionate. He
talks like he's a fan on a pod, Paul. It's like he's not part of it. He analyses the problems.
He talks like it's absolutely nothing to do with him.
That's what I mean.
Like it's sort of like just.
He analyses the game like we do, but rather than like as though it's not him who's in control of these things.
Yeah. It's what needs to happen is he needs to be sacked, and he needs to be sacked tonight, in my view. I'm not really interested in having a will they, won't they, because none of us really know. I think we've all stated our cases on that before now. But that is what needs to happen. I think pretty much everybody knows that right now. I think you could get Xabi Alonso straight away. I don't see any reason why, if that vacancy's there, he's not going to turn around and say, no, and wait until the summer. He's going to go, fucking hell, Liverpool will come and knocking. I've just been fired by Real Madrid. I really want that job. I'm going in there now. Just get it done. Stop fucking about. We're not going to win the Champions League. That idea is ridiculous. I've come around on that now. Yeah, we might salvage top 5, and for me that's absolutely crucial for next season. Just in terms of making sure that there's some elements of momentum to get the ball rolling again. It's really bad. I mean, I just think, you still see the last vestiges of people railing against the players. You just don't understand human beings if you think that if you're still railing against the players at this stage. This is about the manager and the culture that he sets and his absolute lack of leadership. What can anyone tell me what the culture is around that team? There's just nothing. There's no personality. There's zero personality.
The teams are a reflection of the manager, though, and that's what we're seeing.
Absolutely. There's no passion. There's no spirit about them. They're confused. They're bewildered. And then we see this guy. That bland, blank expression he has on his face when I just watched the interview before on Sky, and his face is just completely impassive. He just looks like he's not arsed. Now I think he's probably actually trying hard to do his Swan impression, you know, like with serene on the surface while his legs are going absolutely nuts underneath. But that's not what anybody needs right now. And if you're a leader leading an organisation as big as Liverpool, and you think that what people want is the appearance of calm at a time when quite clearly it's an absolute shit show and everyone knows it's a shit show, then you're out of your depth. I don't bear him any ill will, but he does annoy me when I see him in those interviews. He's not a bad fella. He won the league with Liverpool. He should just leave, move on, and take that with him. No one will ever be able to take that away from him and go and have a good career somewhere else, because I've got no doubt that he will. But he's not right for us. He needs to go. It's a mess. It's not going to get better. Funny. It's only going to get worse.
I find it funny that he said he should just leave, because like I posted in the chat earlier, like the well-known, well, you might know, most people might know it, the internet meme from the I think he should leave with like, is it Tim Robinson? I forget. In the hot dog costume, go, we're all trying to find the guy who did this, because like he's the guy who did it in the hot dog costume. And he's like, that's Arne Slot. He stands there after a match talking about like, yeah, you know, someone needs to sort this. Like, yeah, you need to sort this. This is your job. I don't, like, you. There's nobody else.
Yeah.
I mean, Dave's right. He talks the same shit we do, except, as I say, we can't do anything about it. To be fair, even if we were coaches, I don't think we could do anything about it. But still, we can't do anything about it. He's paid to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, on the one hand, though, I think I'd rather have that than just someone fucking gaslighting us, like talking shite about what we're seeing. At least he does tell us, like what he tells us matches with what we've seen, and I will always respect that. The fact he's not gone down that road.
You see, I see that as gaslighting. I see that as that's gaslighting to me. It's kind of like I know what the problem is. Then we'll fucking do something about it, then, mate.
No, that's
it's just embarrassing.
At least he's not saying there is no problems.
All the stuff about there are definitely, he's definitely been dealt a tough hand, no doubt about it. You know, with Diogo, that's an absolute fact, and that's very, very difficult. The gaps in the squad, an absolute fact. But as Jules has said at the start there's so many absolute fundamental basics that are not there. And the reason it's not there is because they fundamentally don't believe in him. The players haven't down tools, but they just never really, really believed in this guy. You can then get into a whole back and forth debate about how did he win the league then. I'm not even really interested in that. I don't want to be the guy who tries to take credit away from him for that. He won the league. He'll always have that winner's medal. He deserves it because he was in the role at the time, but he's out of his depth in the Liverpool job now and he needs to go. It's as simple as that. And I just hope it goes. I hope he goes sooner rather than later, because I think things could get really unpleasant if it carries on like this, and I don't see any reason why it won't carry on like this. You know, he's picking from the same small group of players. They're either new players who aren't really found their feet, or they're old players who look like they're on their last legs, or they're sort of players who've been here a medium amount of time who look absolutely bewildered. There's no cavalry coming in. There's nothing going to change this lot around. There's no sort of you know, the pound of footsteps are coming over the hills and we're going to be saved by the Fifth Army arriving. No, we're fucked. We're absolutely fucked. And I wouldn't trust him to even scrape through into fifth. I would just change it right now. As I said, there's no point in debating what the club will do because none of us know. But that's definitely what I would do. I think you bring in a new manager right now, particularly a figure like Alonso, who has excellent coaching credentials and also excellent Liverpool credentials. And I think the very least that Xabi does this season is harness Anfield. And I think harnessing Anfield would be enough to get us over the line in the top five. And then worry about the rest later. You know, sort the squad out in the summer or make moves in that way. Sort the football out in the summer and you go again. But this guy's cooked. He's done. He's finished.
So, first of all, like we don't know that Alonso would take the job if it was offered now. I agree with your logic in that why wouldn't he in that, but we don't know that he definitely would. So, but if he would, then that's an absolutely obvious thing to do at this point. So, I don't think that he's getting he's not getting sacked after like tonight or whatever, because we've got that Champions League game in midweek. So, that might be a different matter. If that was to go wrong, I think then there's nothing stopping you. It's like, well, why wouldn't you do it then? Whereas now it's like, well, we've still got that Champions League game. We don't want to disrupt things before that because it's an important game. So I sort of think, I see the logic. And no, look, don't get me wrong. If they did sack him, if he was to be sacked tonight, he could have absolutely no complaints whatsoever.
There's
would
an
be
argument
justified.
that you need to disrupt this. Things are so
Maybe
bad,
so, but I just do not think that would be on their agenda ahead of the Galatasaray game. Now, if that goes wrong,
there's no point debating that because it's unknowable.
I think that's a different matter. If that was to go wrong, then you're sort of running out of any reasons as to why you would let it carry on. Because if that goes wrong on Wednesday night, then how are you putting forward any sort of a case that we will finish above Chelsea or Villa or whoever? Because we've got to finish above one of those.
Would you bet against us getting knocked out on Wednesday night? No, because I wouldn't.
Prior to today, I didn't think there was any way we wouldn't go through, and it wasn't really a vote of confidence in us. It was just, I've seen Galatasaray, they're wide open. I'm like, there's no way.
Turkish teams are shit away from home.
Yeah, there's no way we should not be beating them. But
you were
having seen us playing Tottenham,
today.
no, but see, that's the thing. We should be beating Tottenham 4-1. Even in our state, I know, but that's I'm saying what should be happening, and that didn't happen. Now, so if we're going on today's game, this might be the low point of the season, even though we didn't lose. And the reason I say that is because if you were to ask any team in the league this weekend, what fixture would you like this weekend? Every single one of them would have said Tottenham at home.
Yeah.
That was Tottenham are at rock bottom. They've got I think they've got 8 of the first 11 players missing. You know, their best 11, I think 8 of them were missing. Not to mention some of the others who would have come in and done a job. They've got a massive injury list. The confidence is on the floor. They're a laughing stock. Everyone's been taking the piss out of them. They're in full panic mode because they're thinking that they're going to get relegated. That's how bad things are. The fans are all convinced that they're going down. The players look like they're convinced. He brought in this manager who nobody wants, and everyone's saying this fella's got to go. He's only been in 4 games, I think. And after the first and second defeat, it was like, get him gone. He's got to go. So this is the perfect team to play. And we couldn't
So
beat
lucky for them, they called Dr. Slot and he sorted them out.
You're going about Dr. Spurs. That's what I said to John afterwards. I was like, Dr. Slot's done them a favour. He sorted them out here. You know, they came in at death's door. Now all of a sudden they've been revitalised. That's what I think today's rock bottom. And not because, we've conceded a goal, late equaliser. Because Tottenham fully deserved to come away from that game with a draw. The way they played, even early on, they had a couple of moments with Richarlison and Solanke and Tell was causing a few issues, and I'm like, this is not going to be as easy as it should be, because we were just being us the way we always play. Tottenham had a bit more life about them than I was expecting them to have, but then the longer the game goes, so we score a goal that should never have gone in. That's the goalkeeper is shite. That's Tottenham's biggest problem. That's why they dropped the goalkeeper to put the lad in the other night and then had to take him off. They've got massive problems with the goalkeeper, and we benefited from that. So we go in 1-0 at half time, and I'm thinking they've had the better chances there. Because they had, Richarlison's had 2 headers. They've had a couple of other good moments. Yeah, we've had, I think Cody hit the post, and we've had some of the situations that could have gone better. But we're 1-0 up again, and I'm thinking, we're not even a better team. We're 1-0 up. They've had the better chances. This is not good. This is a team that, everybody wants to play. They are so bad at the moment. Everyone wants to play Tottenham, and we get the chance to play them. And if you go back a few weeks as well, I think I said, looking at Chelsea's fixtures, I was like, in 2-3 weeks' time, we should have pulled quite a bit clear of Chelsea, because we've got Wolves, we've got Tottenham, these games that you're looking at, these should be a guaranteed 3 points, and Chelsea have got these really difficult fixtures. Now Chelsea have dropped points. They got beat by Newcastle, they got beat by Arsenal, they won away at Villa, which was a good result for them. We've not pulled away from them. The fixtures we had, we should have been well clear of Chelsea, and we're not. We're marginally clear of them, and I haven't got any confidence that we'll stay above them. I feel like Chelsea are underachieving in terms of, you watch them play and you think, they're pretty good. Why are they not getting results? They just seem to find ways to not get results. Every game's a struggle for us. It's even playing against the injury-riddled rock bottom morale Tottenham side that's just ripe for an absolute bumming, and that's what we serve up. You know, Tottenham deserve that.
Did
and
you see that?
you get the last 15 minutes, Paul, like, we just shit ourselves.
Have you seen that stat? That Simon Brundish is somebody's one of the listeners, Ben, 1977 Benji has just has tweeted us about a stat that he saw, which is Simon Brundish has put this on Twitter. Spurs covered 9 kilometres more than Liverpool today, which is 15% more. They outran us by 15%. And they just wanted it more. They just looked more cohesive. That side, as you've already stated the case, Dave, an absolute shambles, plummeting like a stone. By everyone's reckoning, they're looking like they're heading straight for relegation, and they outrun Liverpool by 15% at Anfield. I mean, the Anfield fear factor is dead and buried. It's just gone. You know, like no one's asked about Anfield.
A big reason for that as well, like why I think they've outrun us and they've looked like they wanted it more, was because the way the game went, they just grew in confidence. They're like, there's nothing to be scared of here. You know, we're not running the risk of getting battered. You know, we can have a go.
Didn't you think they were feeding off our nerves? I think they got better as the cop got more nervy. Yeah. It was almost like the Bizarro version of the cop, where the cop got nervy and Spurs got better.
It's chicken and the egg as well, though, because we got nervy because they were getting better, but they got better because they sensed that we were getting nervy. So I think both things just fed off each other. But that was, you know, I said to John with about 15 minutes to go, 10-15 minutes to go, and I kept saying it to him. Must have said it like 3 or 4 times. I was watching and I'd say, I can smell a last-minute Richarlison goal here. It was so obvious that they were going to score, and it was so obvious it was going to be him. And normally I'd be saying, oh yeah, it would be fucking him. But you know what? Good for him. The way he played today, the shift he put in, he was a constant fucking menace all day. And he got his reward in the end. And as much as I can't stand him, I didn't even get wound up by his celebration, and he really over-egged the celebration. But again, I'm like, so what? You know, this is our fault. I'm not getting mad at Richarlison for doing that. Why shouldn't he enjoy his moment? No problem with Richarlison.
He took the blue and white shite all game, didn't he? He took that all game. So why not give him
the only problem I had with Richarlison, I couldn't believe what I was seeing at this point, was, you know, when Rio went down, like, what, the penalty, Richarlison ran 40 yards and went over to him and lectured him on diving. I'm like, wait a minute, you of all people, you're pulling somebody up and like chastising them for trying to get a penalty.
Part of the charm, that.
That being said, I didn't see him do anything like that today. And he's always the one who's like acting the twat and getting the crowd riled up. He actually just played the game the way you would want someone to play the game. I thought he was really good, and he got his reward in the end. But yeah, I'm not mad at Richarlison because we enabled that. But it was so obvious that it was coming, and it was so obvious it was going to be him. We just got more and more nervous. They were the ones playing football. The substitutions, which we need to get to. John's absolutely lost his fucking mind about the substitutions. John's been like quite measured about Slot all season. He's not really got angry about anything. He was fucking fuming today because of the substitutions and the message that each substitution is sending out. He said, like, it's just they were all incrementally just more and more defensive, the changes that we were making, and it just puts the doubt in everyone's mind. It's like, and the obvious one, and this is me saying Cody Gakpo should not have been subbed. So that tells you how Cody Gakpo was playing, that I'm saying, no, he shouldn't have been taken off. That substitution, taking Gakpo off and putting Naoni on the left, was fucking mental. That was absolutely just such a bizarre thing to do. And the message that sends out was purely, okay, let's just keep the 1-0. And
he's a shithouse, isn't he?
That was just... That substitution is like
the
one time this season that Gakpo's been playing with a bit of fire in his belly and a bit of like energy and pace and drive. He's doing all stuff that like I slag him off for not doing.
That's why he hooked him.
And then he hooked him. I was just
the manager doesn't want that, does he?
I couldn't understand that one at all. That was a crazy substitution, and it sends out entirely the wrong message. And then as soon as Richarlison scores, it's Freddy, you're going on. He probably it wasn't even warmed up. And he's just thrown him on, and that just smacks of desperation. Like, I understand why you would do that, but it's just not a good look, is it? It's like, we've just conceded, and you're like, oh, go on, Freddie. You come to the rescue. Let's see if you can maybe do something. It's just a shambles. That whole thing today, the performance it's the same performance that we see every single week. I keep saying it. The only thing that changes is results, because that's based on like fine margins and different things that happen in both boxes. So we've gone in 1-0 up. We could easily have gone in 1-0 down if Richarlison's header is a couple of inches the other way and the goalkeeper does his job on Dom's free kick. So it's just fine margins. It's the same performance every single game. People are saying, and like I've seen some of the players saying it, I think it was Robbo said it this week about how we lack consistency. I could not disagree more. We are so consistent because we produce the same performance every single game. Now, the results are inconsistent, but that's nothing to do with how we're playing. It's not like we play great one week and then we're shite the next. When do we ever play great? It's not even like we're like shite as in... There's been a few games where you're like, that was absolutely disgusting. So, like, Forest away, the first half is as bad as you'll see. But most of the time, it's not shite, it's not good, it's just this... horrible stuff that we're just doing, like, constantly every single game. It's the same. And today, against the team that everybody would want to play against, you'll never have like an easier game, and that's what we served up. So if he was to be sacked, and I don't think he will be, but if he was to be sacked after a game like that, I don't see how you can even have any complaints. Now, some people will be saying, oh, you're talking about the manager, but what about players today? This player was shite, that player was shite. And I agree. I'm not letting the players off the hook at all. There were certain things that happened today and like, inexplicable. I mean, the amount of 4v2s and stuff that we just completely fucked up. We've got to be the worst counter-attacking team in the league. And I put it down to a lack of pace, but then today we actually did have some pace in the team because we had Rio and Frimpong out wide. But then by the time it comes to counter-attack, and they'd gone off. But even so, Tottenham were throwing the kitchen sink in the last 10 minutes. We had so many chances to kill them off, and it doesn't even result in a shot on goal because we're so bad in those situations. And I keep saying it,
their heads
we're
have gone
terrible.
and their arses have gone.
But like, I'm not letting the players off. But ultimately, it's not a one-off game. If it's a one-off game and players
Dave,
are doing shit, then you can say that. But no, I know you said like
Chelsea
that.
I said straight from the word go. It can't just be it can't be all the players are shit. It comes from the leadership, and they are out on the pitch, but their heads are up their arses. They don't know whether they're coming or going, and the bottle's going as well. They're under massive pressure, and these are lads who just have never. A lot of these have never played under that before. The scrutiny is fucking huge. It's absolutely huge. And that's the only way you can explain the inexplicable, that the psychology of the situation is fucking with their heads and fucking with their confidence, and that comes out in the way they play football. And the only way that will be changed is if you have somebody in charge of them who reinvigorates them, re-inspires them, who takes some of that pressure off. And this fella is not going to do it, and that's why you should change straight away.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
He will do nothing.
So
he will do nothing.
It's easy to blame players, and I am to some degree. I am looking at players and going, no, you need to be doing more. And me and you spoke before the game about Vert, and I like some of the things we've seen from him. It's just not acceptable. It's like, no, I need more from you. So that's still valid, but at the same time, I would say pretty much every manager that's ever been sacked, there will have been fans saying the players have let him down. This player needs to do that player. Ultimately, that doesn't matter. Like, it's the manager carries the can for all of that. And a lot of those players will look completely different under the new manager, and people will say, oh, look, they weren't putting it in for the previous guy. And that's not necessarily it at all. It's like someone can come in and then inspire them. Now, Slot is not going to inspire this team. It's not one of those where he's been here for 10 years and the tired of the voice. It's not that. He's only been here a short time. But when players need to be inspired, someone who like they're listening to every day, and he's not that inspirational type of guy, how is he gonna? There's no point even saying how is he gonna fix that. He's not gonna fix it. It needs somebody to come in.
He's not giving them the answers
it.
to their problems, is he? He's telling them to do stuff that isn't working, so they don't believe in him. It's not like they think you're a prick, we hate you, we want you to suffer. Well, they're just thinking he's telling us. He's been telling us all season that this. Yeah, by now they might. Yeah. But all season he's been saying, do this and it'll work. And it isn't working. And when he's patently not changing what he's asking them to do, they're just doing different shades of the same thing, and that just erodes belief and erodes confidence. Your job as the leader is to lead, and he is patently not leading. So the performances are entirely on him. You can point your finger at the culpability of pretty much every single individual player. They've all done things that are shit and unacceptable, to a man. But the bottom line is that they're all doing it, and the reason for that is because the manager is just not doing his job, and he isn't going to do his job, and he needs to go.
So, Jules, one thing that we did see today that hasn't really been the case for the most part is we saw changes to the starting lineup. So it had a bit of a different look about it. So Mo, Hugo and Kanate were all left out, which may or may not have been Ramadan related with the game in midweek in mind. That would be the most logical assumption. But we got to see Rio starting, Frimpong in the front three, and Joe Gomez playing centre-back, which meant Dom right back again. So what did you make of the changes, and do you think, that's a bit of a silly question, do you think it made any difference?
I think the changes were entirely because of Wednesday night, because, as we've already said, you can't lose to Galatasaray over two legs. Turkish teams are notoriously bad away from home. You can't go, we've done it twice, you can't go there over the last 40 years, I would say, of European football. You can go to Turkey and lose a game. It happens to the best teams sometimes. It happens. But when you get them to yours, you should be knocking 4 or 5 past them because they're not that good.
Yeah.
But I 100% think that those changes were made with that game on Wednesday night in mind. He cannot, if he loses that, I don't think he'll be sacked in the middle of the season. But if you go to Galatasaray over 2 legs in the Champions League, I got a feeling you might have a problem. You might be sacked because there's only Brighton away on the weekend. Then there's the international break. So if you're going to fire somebody mid-season, this is the last international break of the season. You might as well do it then. So look, it makes sense. We're not going to win the Premier League, and in theory, we can win the Champions League. So it makes sense to prioritise. And that's what he's done, I think, especially when Dr. Tottenham's coming calling, and if, as you say again, they're not good. You're meant to be able to beat them. You're meant to do it. But I just speaks the problem with any you don't see wholesale changes from Slot often. So when you do see a few, it's jarring because it doesn't seem, something's up because it doesn't happen all the time. And if you're a player coming in that situation, something's up because it doesn't happen all the time. This is why when you've got squad rotation matters in the modern game, you have to keep everybody interested and invested. And it was like, the funny thing is, right, he's been speaking for the last 2 weeks about not putting Rio in because, and we all agree he's too young and you can't play him that often. But then we've seen him more in the last 2 weeks than we have in the previous 2 months. So he's saying something, but doing something else. So he's getting a Premier League start, and again he was all right today. And over the course of the season, I'm not opposed to throwing him in for the odd Premier League start. But it is weird again that he's been talking about it more and more over the last couple of weeks. But now we're actually seeing him more than we ever have.
Do you think he's treated today like an FA Cup game?
A little bit, yeah. It's definitely been. I don't think there's any doubt that the Champions League game has been prioritised. We're 1-0 down. If we'd have gone to Galatasaray and won 3-0, that team would have been different today. There's no doubt, 100%, that team would not be the team going out there today. But we lost again, and it's a key performance, KPI or whatever they call it, key performance indicator, whatever. It's a key part of his job to keep us running the Champions League. The money is important. The chance of a trophy is important for keeping him in a job. So I think he made that choice. But again, it speaks to sort of the composition of the squad that these are the changes made. They're not all these players individually are fine, but the changes as a collective just feel very is this the best we're doing with what we've got? Is this the best we can offer with rotation?
Well, he didn't rotate the midfield.
A 17-year-old?
Curtis on the bench
that's
again while McAllister plays and stinks.
I'll come to that in a second if I remember. But like a 17-year-old, a player who is a right back or right wing back playing in the front three, and your best midfielder at right back, that smacks to me of a bad composition of a squad, and you're squeezing square pegs into round holes.
Your left winger playing centre
I
forward.
don't. Yeah, I don't know what's gone on behind the scenes, but I think only the most naive person would say nothing's gone on behind the scenes with Jones.
Yeah, I totally
Right,
agree.
something has happened. Whether Jones has called him a ball twat who could stick it up his bollocks, I don't know. Wouldn't put him past him, and I wouldn't blame him. But something's gone on behind the scenes. Whatever was with that transfer story to Inter Milan in January, there was obviously something behind that, and in the fallout, there's something behind that, and we're seeing it. And like I get what Paul says about leadership, and it does go a long way. I don't probably put as much stock in it as Paul does, but I do put a lot of stock in it. But that smacks of like weak leadership to me. That like whatever's happened has happened. We've still got a season to play. We've still got trophies to win. You are of course part of my plans, and you will of course play. Do not worry about it. You will be included. That is normal, strong leadership. I haven't got a problem with you. If you've got a problem with me, channel it on the pitch. I don't care. Do what you need to do. But to exclude and ignore, that's weak. That's weak as shit. That's hoping the problem goes away by not addressing it. And that's how I find the Jones situation. The thing with the midfield rotation is, what can you rotate? There are no options. You've either loaned or you've ostracized your options. So it's not like this is all you've got. You're playing these people because there's nothing else to do. This is what you've got, and this again comes down to squad management. This is the kind of down to like, I know we had a really good under Klopp with how the squad was kept involved and stuff, but like this is the opposite end of the scale now. This is like we've gone completely from heaven to hell here. This is not what anyone wants. Loaning out players, selling players that would be on the fringes, because they've obviously had a word with the manager. Goes, what kind of, do you need all these players? He's like, no, I work with 16 players. It's fine. I know we're not in the hierarchy. He's going, hang on a second, mate. You can't work with 16 players with the amount of games we play. You can't do that. You need to rethink it.
Do you know what?
Even if we're not
Jules,
selling, even if
just a quick point on that, just while I think on, because I'll forget otherwise. You're talking about like always operating with 16 players and no rotation and stuff. I'm doing something for the next Blood Red on the 2001, the treble season, and I was thinking about this the other day. Julio was rotating more, and a lot more, 25 years ago than what we're seeing now. Even though the game has changed so much towards big squads and rotation, Julio was rotating. If you think back to that squad, like, he had the 4 strikers, he was playing 2, he was rotating them all the time.
Yeah.
He had about 7 midfield players he was rotating. The defence didn't change much, but everything ahead of them was changing regularly. And then you look at this now, and it's like, how have we, like... We're not far from the Shankly era when it was like he worked with like 13 players, same team as last year.
He'd rotate Babel out every now and then, give him a rest and bring Vignal in and stuff, wouldn't he though?
Yeah, and Ziga was there as well, like for swapping the fullbacks around. And
what was the other left back? I forgot his name. I used to really like him as well. What's his name? The left back, the local lad.
I don't think he was involved then.
He was around 2001.
The treble season was Carragher. He was left back in 2001 that season.
It must have been the start of 2001, 2002 then, but like, what was his name?
Warnock.
Oh, fuck. No.
Stephen Wright, right back.
Yeah. So like, they were still getting rotated. This is like early 1990s stuff, this. You've got 11 players and 3 substitutes, 2 substitutes. This is what this is. It's inexplicable, and it's a squad game. It's a big squad game. There's like
not
The
for
champion, like the benches in the Champions League have been expanded. The benches in the Premier League have been expanded. You're
That
meant
just
to
means
use
more
these
goalies.
Even
players.
Guardiola, Mr. 16 players, is taking
Yeah.
more players, isn't he?
And that might be one of the biggest crimes he's committed, is that just squad management is just being. It was almost like last year. It was done for like a sprint to the finish, as in the whole season was like a sprint to use these players, burn them out, but we'll win the league. But it doesn't. It's not going to work all the time.
But he even said that, though,
and it's
Jules,
not
he
working
said,
this year.
oh, I should have rotated more, and Harvey
Yeah,
Elliott
well, I
should have
think
got more
we've- I
minutes.
think-
That's completely on me. Endo
But
should have
again,
played a
all
lot
kinds
more.
of
I,
stuff
I
that doesn't
referred
happen.
to you.
Gaslighting.
I referred to you to the hot dog man meme. We're all looking for the guy who did this. It's like it's you. You've done it. You can say it all you like, but you did it. I don't. It's it. And that. If anything's going to turn, make a person turn against him, it will be that, as he relentlessly points out what the problems are, but does not fix them. Because at that point, you're just a Greek chorus narrating the events. You're not actually the protagonist affecting the events. So you're being paid to be the protagonist, mate. You're not paid to sit on the sidelines and make comments about what's wrong or what's about to happen or what's going to happen. Or
He's the
what
fucking
has
antagonist
happened.
at this point. Jesus Christ.
Wait, he's more like a
Well,
pundit than a manager, though. That's the thing.
Well,
his analysis is
he's,
great.
That's what Jules was saying, the chorus. He's
I
the
know.
chorus.
He should be on Monday Night Football because his analysis is spot on, like. But
he's Harvey Dent in The Dark Knight. You know, you either die a hero, you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. Well, you know, he's had the championship season, and then now he's becoming the villain because he cannot arrest this slide. It's I mean, you just like literally throw your hands up in exasperation. Like, what are you gonna do? I don't know. He doesn't know.
yeah, I don't even get angry
So, yeah,
about it. I
but-
wasn't even angry today. Just I'm numb to it all now.
I think it's going to get worse.
Well, I think the way
Because
the crowd
it's
are
crowd reaction at the end.
that
That was very loud booing at the end.
that
today.
was not the Burnley booing. It was different. It was definitely like, it wasn't sustained. It didn't go on for ages, but it was, there's a lot of frustration there. And you knew there would be. I mean, even before the whistle went, you knew what was coming. But I mean,
fully justified.
yeah, in terms of it getting worse, it could, because it could get worse on Wednesday. So and if it doesn't,
I definitely think it's going to get worse.
Yeah, no, we're just not going.
This
to a
is
good
not
place,
nothing is going to change people's minds. In virtually everyone's minds, he's done. He's finished. Everyone knows it, and then from this point on, it just becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's definitely going to get worse until he goes. It happens with everyone when at the end. It just goes downhill and downhill and downhill until eventually the owners catch up with the fans and say, right, you're right, they need to go. Always the way. Always the way.
Yeah,
Like
I'm struggling to think of anyone.
It was like that under GH.
Who
like
has turned it round?
Rodgers.
Has anyone ever really turned it round?
At Liverpool or outside?
Just in general? Like, not even just...
I can't think
once
of
it starts to go,
becomes,
it's like...
when you get to this stage, it's done, yeah.
Here's a quote from him tonight on the booze from Liverpool fans. He said, "I think and expect that it was aimed towards the team, which I can completely understand. If you can't feel the frustration after dropping points at home against Tottenham, who are on a poor run of form. Yeah, it's just against the team, mate. It's just against the team."
And when he says that as well,
we're all
his
looking
face
for the
doesn't
guy who
matter.
did
Like,
this.
It's just totally... yeah.
I actually heard
yeah.
So passive.
those quotes. I heard it on the radio on the way home, like, and it sounds fine. You know, like when you're listening to it, I didn't have a problem with it at all. I thought he kind of handled that well. He was like saying, no, the fans are totally entitled to boo, and he didn't say it's harsh or anything like that. He just fully accepted it, and he said, you know, if you don't beat Tottenham in like the run that they're in, then yeah, people are going to be frustrated, and he said, we're frustrated, I'm frustrated, the players are frustrated, the fans are frustrated.
He doesn't look frustrated. He looks totally relaxed.
Going back to your point on that, Paul, again, I just think that's his personality. That's who he is. And as soon as he
And that's
starts
why he
trying
doesn't.
to
I
be,
agreed, but that's why he doesn't fit.
I know, but you're saying
he's
like
not Liverpool.
I don't disagree with what you're saying about like it's not what you need in this kind of, you know, when games are going like that, you want someone who's showing a bit of passion and shouting. But if he starts doing that, that's even worse because it's so out of character. No one's going to take that seriously. He's got to he's got to live or die by being himself. If he tries to be something he's not, then you know.
Well, he's died by being himself.
Yeah,
that's
true. But there's no point in then.
He's dead.
Like that's something that I would expect from Brendan Rodgers, where he would just do something
sacking
like
Colin Pascoe.
Yeah, just that. Well, yeah. That's what I mean. You know, Brendan would.
I think you're being incredibly fair to him, and I don't wish him any ill will. I just say that again. I don't. And he's clearly a decent fella, but he's paid a fucking fortune to do this job, and he won the league a year ago, and the wheels have absolutely come off. So there's an awful lot of like, well, he's being a nice guy, he's being himself. I think he's talking like a fucking knobhead. He sounds like a knobhead. And I wish he'd just stop talking if he can't show a little bit of passion. It's just embarrassing. Like he's humiliated us, Dave. He's absolutely humiliated us. He's taken with the champions. We spent $500 million.
I know.
And we're a fucking shit show.
But it's not his comments that
by fucking Galatasaray, by fucking Forest, by fucking Wolves. The Spurs who are plummeting like a stone come there today and take a point off us. It's not good enough. And I'm quite comfortable saying it's a fucking disgrace and he's shit and he needs to go. And I think, I don't hate him, I don't bear him any ill will, but he's done and he needs to fuck off. I don't want to see his stupid, bland fucking face on a press conference again, telling me all the things that every fucker who watches us knows. And I'm not going to feel sympathetic for him. He's been paid, what's he get about? A conservative estimate, £4 million a year. I mean, fucking hell, mate. All you've had to... No,
I'm not disagreeing with any of that. All I'm saying is, at least he's not making it worse by like doing what most other managers do. He's not. He's not done that shit. At least he's not made it worse. It's like it's the results and the performances that are pissing me off. It's not him. And in the past, there's been stuff where managers have said, and I'm pissed off with them as well as performances and results. So he's not reached that point with me yet.
I think you quickly find yourself in the minority. I think a lot of people are starting to get pissed off with him now.
Yeah, but it's because of results and performances. There's absolutely nothing.
No, I think
there's
they want
nothing
more
that he can say though that will make anyone go, oh, yeah, this is fine. Like the results and performances are shit.
He doesn't look like he cares.
Of course he
cares,
looks like
but
that's what I'm saying. That's his
he doesn't look like he cares.
That's his demeanour, and he can't
and
change that.
That pisses people off.
But if he starts changing that, it's gonna look even more weird, and people will have a go at him for that and say, "Oh, look, he's a fraud." Now he's trying to play to the galleries by making it look like he's angry. So ultimately, none of that totally even matters. It's purely but none of it matters. It's purely the performances and the results, and then how he behaves. There is no behaviour that he can do that will make any of this better. So I just can't get wound up by that because there's nothing he can say or do that's going to change that.
All I'm doing is explaining why he pisses me off with his stupid fucking passive face.
And all I'm saying is, if that pisses you off,
don't be pissed off. That's what you're saying.
No, I'm not. I'm not saying don't be pissed off. What I'm saying is, if he was to behave differently, you'd be even more pissed off. This, he's not making it worse by how he acts.
If it looked like a performance, then yeah, I probably would. But if he was actually pissed off, he should be pissed off. He should be looking at this.
The only time he's ever been pissed off is at referees. It's the only time you've ever seen him show any kind of anger and emotion is when he's being pissed off about a refereeing decision. It's not his demeanour. He just doesn't. It's not his personality, and he's not gonna change that. And I don't expect him to change that.
Just to be clear, I don't expect him to be Jurgen Klopp. As I've said many times before, there's different ways to be a big character. You know, you can have Rafa was a massive personality with a relationship with the fans, and he's nothing like Klopp. He was taciturn in many ways. But you can cultivate a relationship with the fans. You can show you care about the club without being Jurgen Klopp. So this is not like a rallying cry on my part for let's bring Klopp back or he needs to be like Jurgen Klopp. I just need him to show something, and he doesn't show anything.
We're on a sneaky bad run in the Premier League as well. We've only won 4 in our last 12.
It's not so sneaky. I think we're all aware of it.
It's not sneaky. It's been
No,
shit.
I'm a bit surprised that because we've drawn today and then we lost to Wolves. But before that, we'd won 3 on the bounce, which is prolific for us. And then, yeah, I mean, I suppose I don't know. So what I'm trying to get across, I suppose I'm saying is, so we're on a 4-12 run in the Premier League. So that terrible run we had earlier in the season when we lost 9 out of 12, we're not actually that far removed from that kind of form again.
And it's been an easy run of games.
Yeah. It feels
like
that,
you think the clamour would be more because of the teams around us. If this was the Premier League of 3 years ago, we'd be far lower in the league than we are now, and it would be far worse. But because of the state of the league, it's sort of been, that's what I'm saying, it's sort of sneaky that we're actually on a terrible run again. This is like we're back in where we were before Christmas, but yet the clamour is not as large for. It's more of an undercurrent, right? It's not like a complete slot out sort of stuff that you would see with like Benitez, Hodgson, Rodgers, and that kind of stuff.
Away
now. But I think I don't think it's far away, but it's got more of an undercurrent than it's ever had before, like because of that league win.
Yeah.
Because of that league, if that league win hadn't happened last year, it would be far more prominent. But because of that, there are still people reluctant to go full throated and go, no, this is no good. No, this is because I'm gonna guess and go out on the limb that we all agree that no one turns this kind of stuff around really ever. But I'm gonna guess that some people sort of think, well, at the moment we're on 2 seasons. One was a title winning season and one's an off season. And I know like off season's putting it lightly, but let's just do that for the sake of brevity. So one's a Premier League title winning season, one's an off season. Which one's the real one? Like I would say the most recent form is your form, but like I'm sure people out there going, well, we've had a tough start to the season with what happened off the pitch. The squad's not right. If you get in the squad balance, then it's pre-season that's free of absolute horror. Maybe next season, maybe he puts it back together. But I think that must be why it's an undercurrent and not a tidal wave.
Or another argument that I've seen put forward along those lines, Jules, is, well, if you there's not many Premier League winning managers out there who you could bring in, why would you get rid of one? I've seen that argument put forward, but by that logic, well, okay, should we go and get like Claudio Ranieri in then? I just don't.
That logic's false though, because when we brought him in, he wasn't a Premier League winning manager. So no one was saying that when we brought him in. So that sort of stuff's irrelevant. Not everyone can be a Premier League winning manager, but you definitely won't be a Premier League winning manager if you don't get to manage a top Premier League team. So
you
can't have it both ways.
People view Brendan Rodgers in a certain light. If Stevie doesn't slip,
that's by his actions. Yeah, but that's by his actions.
No. I don't mean that. I mean as a manager. I don't. Okay. I know, we know he's a slime ball. Yeah. That's not.
The sliding door. How often did I say that? The sliding doors moment.
I know.
Would we have got Klopp if Gerrard didn't slip and we'd won the league? Because I think what you're seeing now would be happening then.
Yeah.
You would not have the full-throated Rodgers out. People would be like, well, he won the league.
And then
bear in mind, that had been our first league title.
Retired in. Now
he's been dealt a bum hand.
Yeah, I know. You would probably get some making that argument.
And also, he'd have won the league. Rodgers would have won the league. He'd have won the league. He'd have won the long streak breaking league as well, not just like a league that's 5 years after the last one, which is this is not the diminished slots league, by the way, but like he didn't like that. It's easier now to win the league with Liverpool in theory because the dates, the time frame isn't hanging over you anymore.
The monkey's off the back.
Yeah, absolutely. And that'll happen with Arsenal now when they win the league. They hadn't won it for 22 years. In theory, the fan base should calm down a little because the monkey's off the back. Whether that'll happen or not is a different matter because Arsenal fan base is
I don't
weird,
think they'll put up with the shit footy after they've won the league.
It's entirely possible.
They'll get twitchy.
And they won't put up with like...
Some of our fans are.
Possibly.
So like, we just won the league and we're playing shit footy, and some people are like...
There's a little bit of our attacking play that's like Arsenal at the end of Wenger, where we're trying to like... It's too many passes in the box.
Yeah.
Walk it in.
Yeah.
No one's taking good looks. So we're either trying to walk it in or we're taking long pot shots.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Terrible.
Yeah, I can't remember us since the mid-90s when Redknapp and Berger played for us. I can't remember us ever taking so many long shots as we have this season and last season.
Most of them get blocked as well.
I'd like to see. Yeah, they always get blocked because they take a touch and like the defender's on you to put their body in front of it. But I can't think of another. It's like the football in the Premier League. It's like a '90s throwback. It's not what we were used to seeing. It was all about get yourself into the best position and take the shot. Like if these fuckers were flying around on the Death Star, they'd just be flying around the fucking top. They wouldn't even go in the trench and have a dig at the exhaust port. They'd just be like flying around
Hot
like
lock,
go after you.
Taking shots on ridiculous angles.
And then when it gets a bit airy, someone will be trying to shoot it from outside the trench up above in space and it's nowhere near it. Yeah. A TIE fighter comes along and blocks it. It's mid-90s throwback shit. It's the wrong side of the percentages, isn't it? You're playing the percentages the wrong way around.
Yeah.
You're taking long. It's like you. No one knows this outside of me, Dave, and Chris. It's like Dave. We do this pick'em in the NFL where you have to pick who's going to win each game for each week. And every year Dave is shitting it and falls behind, and then he's taking long pot shots at results, hoping for to turn it around. Spoiler alert to anybody: it does not turn it around. He just falls further behind as he takes longer pot shots.
Like I'm picking like
it's right. That's
the 1-11 Browns, and they're at the Chiefs who are flying, and I'm like, well, if I pick that one and it comes in, I'll be making one up on Jules and Chris. I'll go for that. Could happen. It never does.
Is that what happened with your
Dave has never won that pick'em.
No, the 4-1 prediction was basically, I'm not just going to go, oh, we're shit, we're not going to win. It was more a case of, okay, this is what should happen.
To the team, innit?
It was this should happen. If it doesn't happen, you've fallen below expectations and it's not acceptable. And the reason why I did that is because I'm sick of this lowering of expectations that we're seeing. So, because we're shit, everyone's like, oh, it's going to be a bit of a slog this week. And then we'll have a West Ham win, which was not an impressive win. It was 5-2, looks good on paper. It was not an impressive performance. It was a 50-50 game, and we've scored more set pieces. And that's seen as, oh, that was good, wasn't it? Like, no, it wasn't. Just because you were expecting a really shit, close, typically game gets decided in the last 10 minutes type of game. Just because it wasn't that doesn't mean it was good. But because we've got expect the same shit every week now, on the rare occasions when it rises a little bit above that, that's seen as progress or, oh, that wasn't bad. It's that's just where we're at now. People's expectations have been lowered to such an extent that if we'd have won 1-0 today, I guarantee there would have been people trying to talk that up. And if we'd have come on and moaned about it, we'd have been told, oh, what are you moaning for? We've won the game. Even though the performance doesn't make any difference. So it's the same performance. The only difference is, Richarlison scored in the last minute and we've drawn rather than winning 1-0. But people would have tried to talk that up and go, well, we got the 3 points, what are you complaining for? And that's because expectations have been lowered so much. So I'm going into that Tottenham game and I'm thinking, no, that's a game. Spurs, it wasn't like I've got this confidence in us. It was I'm looking at Tottenham and going, they're so bad that pretty much whoever they're playing against should be beating them easily in the state that Tottenham are in currently. Now, the team that they were playing was us.
But I still didn't have that confidence. I thought we'd win. I thought, you look at the state Spurs are in, I thought Spurs are an absolute shit show. Everyone, pundits, neutrals, are saying we're going to win. All the Reds are saying we're going to win. I thought we were going to win, and I still did not feel confident before kick-off today. That's just how fucking mad this team is and how shit things
How can anyone feel confident? I'm just telling you what should have happened, and if we'd have done what we should be doing, it probably would have happened. But, this is
we don't do what we should be doing, though, do we?
No.
Week after week.
Hardly ever. So, do we want to talk about anything? I'll tell you what happened today that was really good. It might be the best thing that's happened at Anfield all season, was Igor Tudor coming out and spotting a random ball guy on the touchline and going and like putting his arm around him and shaking his hand. I actually think it might have been the fourth official, in which case it's not quite as funny because he might have known who it was. But if he's come out and just
had been in charge,
he's just seen a shiny head and thought, oh yeah, there's Arne Slot, and he's just gone over and like hugged him and shook hands with him. I was like, that's the best thing that's happened at Anfield all season. That was so funny.
Oh fucking hell!
But
Dom's goal was great, wasn't it? Even
just
though the
like
keeper was fucking shit.
yeah, I've not seen it back. I don't even know how good the strike it was.
the keeper was shit. He jumped about 2 inches. It was like it was right in the middle of the goal.
Does he have Shilton's
It was
concrete
bad ball.
boots on?
He did, yeah. I just like Tudor's interview with Sky after the game was like dead awkward. But I actually don't. I mean, that's partly him, but I also think it's partly the interviewer. Like, because the interviewer is trying to get not the wrong answers, but like he's deliberately leading down the path. Like, are you the right man? The fans aren't happy. What are you going to do to change it? But also he lost his composure because he was stuttering a lot trying to get the questions out because he was clearly intimidated by Tudor. But like he's Croatian, like they can be wild. They can be wild cards. Those lads, you know what I mean? Like, which one was it? Was it Brozanetsky or someone who was like fighting in the Balkan War or some mad shit? Like they're proper like hard cases. They don't mess about. So he'll come out and just like he won't even give a shit.
He was the Serbian guy who was at Southampton like last year or the year before. He wasn't someone who I'd be...
Was that the old fellow who didn't last very long?
Yeah.
But like, he had more K's and J's in his name, yeah. So, but like, Tudor will come out and done that, and he won't give a flying fuck that he did it. Like some people are like, oh, it's embarrassing. He just won't care. He'll be like, so what? It was bald man. I shook hand. Done.
Shiny head.
Shiny head. You shake one bald man's hand, you shake them all. I see no problem. So I kind of respect
just
it.
Keeping quiet here.
What's that? Sorry, I wasn't
Paul's
listening.
thinking how many people have shook his hand and thought he was someone else.
I was reading this fella on Twitter, Chris Williams, who's talking about how shit training is apparently behind the scenes. He's got some sort of insight into what's going on at the AXA, and apparently saying training's just a pile of shite. It's all slow, stop-start bollocks.
You'd never
I mean, that's
sessions
but that kind of stuff's going to come out now, isn't it? Whether it's true or not.
Yeah. And he's basically said that himself. He said once Slot goes, watch all the players start talking about how there's intensity back in training and how they're enjoying themselves again. Yeah. And I mean, we said months ago, didn't we, that you watch the inside training videos and they're no fun anymore. I mean, part of that was to do with the results and what have you, but there isn't a buzz about the place. That's gone from being like the best workplace in the world, where
getting rid of all the personalities. That's a big part.
Yeah, I mean that is a problem.
It
is a problem
joyless.
Because when was the last game Rio started? Was it a cup game?
Wolves in the cup.
Was it Wolves?
Yeah.
I noticed before that game in the tunnel, the Robbo was having a quiet word with like a quite long conversation with him before they went out on the pitch, like as they were lining up. And I thought, all right, I'm guessing that you'll never start Rio with Kirkes behind him. You want Robbo's steady hand who will talk to him.
Did you get onto that?
I did,
was
because
really good with him today, particularly in the first half.
It just made me think of the Wolves game. He was doing it at the Wolves game, and so that's possibly why he doesn't play that much either. Because like Kirkes just, Kirkes looks like he can't string two sentences together sometimes. So, but Robbo is a constant talker, always has been, always will be. He's a personality, and when you lose someone like that out your dressing room, as we look like we will in the summer, that's a big hole to fill. It's an X factor. It's an unquantifiable, but it is definitely a multiplier to your team, to your squad, to your dressing room.
Leadership, innit?
You're saying it doesn't show up on a spreadsheet.
There was a point in the first half. Yeah, that's right. There was a point in the first half where the ball had gone out to Rio, and then it came inside, and it goes back to Maka, and then Robbo points to Maka, tells Maka give it back to Rio, like. It was almost like the ball, the first sort of 20 minutes, it wasn't going wide to him enough, and Robbo's basically telling the others, give him the ball, and then he's constantly encouraging Rio. He's shouting at him, he's signalling to him, loads of hand slaps. walking over to him all the time. Just sometimes when actually nothing's happened, when Rio hasn't even touched it, maybe it's just a bit of movement off the ball. The ball doesn't even go to him.
Constant dialogue, though. It's good for him
all the time.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
yeah. It
Brilliant.
is. But like, you can't. You've got to have those leaders on the pitch. You don't have those leaders on the pitch, then you're going to end up with what we're seeing a lot of the time. And like, Virgil has always been a leadership by actions fella. He's never been a massive talker. Like, he does, marshal the defence, but he's never. Robbo's got verbal diarrhea. He always has. Like, he's just like, from his upbringing, from his background, from his nationality, all these things factor into the sort of guy he is. You know exactly what you're getting from him. He's always been like it. He's great. But it is a genuine concern, like, where are the voices in the team? You do need these voices.
Yeah.
And if you lose them, what's replaced them? Because again, Salah's a man who always showed, didn't tell sort of thing. He was like, I'll do it, but I don't really talk. Alisson, again, is like, I think sometimes Alisson stands at the back and he's just like, he must wonder what he's seeing in front of him sometimes, because it's just, he's detached from the action. He's just watching it all unfold. You must think, fucking hell, it's like I'm back in Roma. This is no good. So where, Gravenberch isn't that player, McAllister isn't that player.
Fucking Captain Cornrows isn't that player. No, he's not. If he's our leader, oh my God, we're in trouble.
We're in trouble, yeah. I that's fine, because but this is where we are, like, and it does matter. Personality does matter. You've got to be able to have someone.
Got no worries either, have we? We've got no one to go to war with.
No.
You got no one. You've got no Milners. You've got no. Even take the. I 100% agree with everything you just said about the vocal leadership, but even just think about people who are warriors on the pitch as well and the way they played the game. We haven't got any of them.
We haven't even got any class clowns, though, for your day-to-day enjoyment of going to work and enjoying yourself.
That's also Robbo.
All the class
That's
clowns.
Also
the class clowns all got sold last summer. The big personalities getting on, and like I say, if people are talking about Dom as a future captain, and probably won't come to that because he'll be off to Real Madrid, but a future captain, and like the day after we've lost to Wolves, he's posting on Instagram about Vinicius sending him new boots. Nah, that's not a good. I don't want that as my culture setter. But I think that's
absolutely.
where we're headed. Because
feels more like a follower move, that, doesn't it?
Yeah, this is not stuff that like, it's an easy thing to say, but doesn't show up on spreadsheets. Like, you've got all the nerds looking at all these stats for different players and this and this. He's going to be great and all that, but there's more to it than that. It's personality counts.
I'll tell you what does show up on spreadsheets. Alexis McAllister won 2 out of 12 duels today.
Grim.
17%. And yet,
how many times did he lose the ball?
Curtis on Wednesday. It just, fuck knows. Fuck knows. I mean, what a drop off. I mean, that's low key an all timer of a drop off, isn't it, from Maka this season? Don't you think? Who's fallen off a cliff like that?
You must have the Toby Carberry card.
Fabinho fell off a cliff. Mo fell off a cliff. Hendo, to a lesser extent, fell off a cliff.
To some extent. Like, I was never buying him to begin with, but he was never like this bad. Yeah. I'm
not sure Gravenberch counts, because I think he had 6 great months and then the rest has been pretty much mediocre.
Okay.
But Maka is just Maka's fall from grace has been huge, particularly given his age. You know what I mean? He's 27. He's in his prime. And it's just the problem with a time like this is that the shit looks even shitter because of the collective problems that we've got. And it's really hard to. That's another reason why I think you need a fresh voice, because that will give you a clue of what the real picture is. Yeah. When you take away the big fucking damp blanket that's laying across everything and depressing everybody and getting everybody down, then you can start to see people lift their heads, people start pulling together. Yeah. You start to look more coherent as a team, and then you can see what are the problems.
These players
is
will look
Maka
different,
finished, and we need to sell him. Mm-hmm. They will, yeah. They really will.
So, you know what? I don't know. I don't know if I've mentioned this on the pod. I've definitely written it before. But something that I keep thinking of is when it was going, like the tail ends of Rodgers, when it was grim. And Klopp came in, and in his first press conference, he referenced it, and then he spoke about it later on when he said, when I arrived here, nobody liked this Liverpool team. Even this Liverpool team didn't like this Liverpool team. That's where we're at now. Yeah. And he came in, he was like, well, I actually like these players. These are good players. Like, and he's telling them, even if he didn't believe it, he probably did believe it. You know, he come in, and I remember one thing he said about Origi, and he went, oh, we will have a lot of fun with this player. You know, and we did. Maybe not in the way he was talking about at that moment. He probably anticipated him being like a regular starter and that. But the amount of fun we've had with Divock Origi's off the charts. So he was right when he said we'll have a lot of fun with this player. But he was saying about, I really like these players. Nobody else seemed to like them because they were just at such a low ebb and low in confidence. Players probably didn't enjoy playing with each other and all of that. And then all of a sudden, a new voice comes in and lifts them up. And it's like, no, you are really good players. Come on. And just G'd it up. Now, Arne Slot cannot do that. And that's not an Arne Slot problem. That's just the way things are. When it's like this...
Well, it is.
No, what I'm saying is...
It is an Arne Slot problem.
Whoever the manager is, when you get in this situation that we're in now, like, that manager is not lifting those players because he's already in place.
Isn't it?
It's an outside voice comes in and everyone's got a fresh start. New guy comes in and he's like, no, yeah, I believe in you. You're a really good player. I've been watching you for years, and if you weren't already here, I'd want to sign you. And just building them up, and all of a sudden, everyone's got a spring in the step. You can't have that with the existing manager, whoever it is, whether it's Arne Slot or someone else. Once the rot set in like this, it needs somebody to come in and then just get that message to the players, like just to rejuvenate everything. Arne Slot cannot rejuvenate this group of players. What can he possibly say to rejuvenate them that they're not already hearing all season? That's just not how it goes. And as I say, it's not an Arne Slot thing. It's like whoever the struggling manager is, that's why they can't turn things around, because it gets to a point where, like, no, it's got to be a new voice coming in. Now, you've got to have the right voice coming in, because if you get it wrong, then you're in even more trouble. But while Alonso's on the market, fans are just obviously going to be looking at that and going, why aren't we doing anything here? Look, Tinker's agreeing with me, unless it's Clyde. Sounds like Tinker to me.
It
Is it Tinker? Yeah, see? I can tell.
It is Tinker. He's looking at me, so I'm feeding him, so excuse me a minute while I just feed him.
So he wasn't agreeing with me, he was just saying he was hungry, okay. But no, that's what I mean. You've got to get it right when you do make the change.
It won't surprise you to know he slept through the match.
Wise choice.
But that brings me to...
I mean, that decision's inherently risky no matter what you do, isn't it? I mean, it's the hardest job in football is to get the right manager, isn't it? You know, at a big club. It's very, very tough.
You get it wrong.
You mitigate that risk with Alonso for all
So you set yourself back years if you get it wrong. Because you don't. If someone comes in and they're shit, you can't make that decision straight away. You've got to let it play out a bit, and then before you know it, you're like 18 months down the line. You're like, okay, this was the wrong appointment, but we've bought players now for that. That's like this style of play, and that's where you end up like in the wilderness, the way Man United have been. So that's the risk that we're running, but you can't let it play out either when it's so clearly this is not working. So it is just a question of when, and it might be if it goes wrong against Galatasaray. So we probably should talk about what to expect from that. Actually, one more thing from today. We do need to say something positive. Rio, I thought he was good.
Yeah, same. And do you know what a compliment to him that already this early in his career they're doubling up on him. You know what I mean? It's already clear that he's got a reputation for someone he can just go past players. And he can go either side as well, and he uses the ball well as well once he's past people. He's not just like a one-trick pony where he just a couple of step overs and he's passed and then oh shit, what do I do with this? I think he's quite intelligent in the way he uses it as well.
Plays with his head up.
There's a lot to like about him. He does, yeah.
I thought he was good today.
Good
bright
decision
spot.
making, I think.
Yeah.
And he keeps going, doesn't he? So he'll keep making the runs even if it doesn't come to him as well. That's also a good sign. Good attitude.
Definitely the one bright spot from today, because I don't really think anybody else. I thought Gravenberch was all right today. Other than that, I'm struggling.
Yeah, let's do Galatasaray.
I mean, they double up on Rio because he's the only fucker that can run.
They're not worried about anyone else, are they?
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
So what do we expect on Wednesday then? Go on, Dave, you start us off. What do you expect?
In terms of lineup or performance?
Selection,
so
both, go for it.
Selection,
Result.
I reckon, so obviously it'll be Alisson. I think Canate comes back in. The question is whether Gomez switches to right back. I think probably not, because he's played 90 today. I think Gomez drops to the bench. I think Frimpong right back, because we're chasing the game. We're 1-0 down, so I think Frimpong will probably play right back. Kirkes will come in at left back. Midfield, it's going to be like it's going to be the same old. McAllister, Gravenberch, Dom, and then Vert probably on the left, Ekitike and Mo. That's what I would expect him to pick. Not what I would pick, but it's what I'd expect him.
I think that's what I expect as well. How do you think the game's going to go?
All depends on the first goal. I think if we concede, I could see the crowd turning, because the last few games at Anfield, the crowd has been just not so much on the players' backs, but the sense of nervousness around the ground and edginess is it's palpable, and it was there today. And I don't think it'll be a typical European night. I think there could be some edginess around, which you don't normally get in these kinds of occasions, where it's normally just everyone's full throttle, manic. But the way the team plays does not lend itself to that, and I think that's a big issue. Like,
do you think no away fans helps or hinders? Because there's potentially, although we're supposed to have 61,000 tickets available for Red, do you think we'll sell out? Do you think there'll be empty seats?
I forgot to mention this. I said the seat next to me was empty today. It's normally like a fella and his son in the two seats next to me, but one of them was empty and there was somebody else in that. But when I was coming down the row at the start of the second half, there's probably a dozen seats that I have to walk past to get to where me and John sit. Maybe a little bit more than that, actually. And they're mostly season ticket holders, so it's the same faces you see every week. Today I saw one of the regular crew, so there was 10.
Could that be a Mother's Day thing, though?
Possibly, but I don't know.
There's quite a lot of changes around me as well.
I think it's more just we're pretty shit, and people were quite happy to just move the tickets on. I think it's probably mostly that, because it was a bit weird that it's a weekend game and none of the faces you would see every single home game, none of them were there apart from one guy. So I thought that was interesting. In the light of
perhaps they all they gave up and went home like me.
Yeah, maybe they were all travelling on the M62, but then the seats weren't empty, so they'd obviously got rid of the tickets. But it was just because what you'd said before the game, Paul, about there was tickets on sale, which there never is. It just made me think maybe people are.
There were tickets on sale. Ironically, the game that I didn't go to, the other game I haven't been to this season, Sunderland, that had tickets on sale on the day of the game. I know, because I was looking, because obviously I put mine on sale.
That was midweek, wasn't it?
So I do know that it was midweek, and it was Sunderland, and it was before Christmas, but that was also, again, a game where tickets were on sale the day of.
Yeah. You get a lot of returns as well.
I think
that's where that comes from usually, isn't it?
Yeah. I think Wednesday.
Just unthinkable though, 3 years ago.
Yeah. I think Anfield's on the brink. I think it could go bad. I hope it doesn't. Obviously, I don't want to see that, but I think it could go absolutely pear-shaped. I think you're right about the first goal, Dave, but I think the crowd will be jittery right from the word go, and the players the same. And even getting the first goal might not help us, because we got the first goal today.
Yeah. But the first goal's not enough for this one. Yeah. You can't sit on that, can you? We could get 2-0 up and then get all jittery. You could see that happening.
I think it could go tits.
Yeah, you need 3 really.
I just think.
Yeah, to be comfortable.
Things are bad.
And
things are really bad, and everyone knows they're bad. And I think that just breeds an atmosphere which will make it a self-fulfilling prophecy.
See, I've gone from being more or less sure that we'd go through to I see that as a 50-50 game now. because I don't think we'll keep a clean sheet. I think because the one thing that they have got is they can attack. They've got, they have a go. They're not just going to come here and just sit back. It's not how they play. They've got Osman, so he's going to. You look at like the problems that Richarlison gave us today. Well, Osman's a better player, so I can see them scoring.
And we're shit at the back.
Yeah,
and we're absolutely shite in midfield as well.
I know.
Yeah.
Thankfully, we've got Alisson. And we've got him for another year.
Seriously, yeah, joking apart, that might be the only bit of the team you can rely on at the moment. But he'll probably get injured in training tomorrow, Ali. So then he'll be out.
Or he'll
I still take
drop a clanger in midweek after us jinxing him. But yeah, we may as well talk about the extension.
Great news.
Yeah.
The right
news.
Then,
Jules, you take it away.
He's got years left in him. Great news, the right news. He's got years left in him. Goalkeepers don't age the same rate as outfield players. The only reason I ever want to see him leave is if he wants to leave. If he says, I want to just take in something else before I go back to Brazil or something. If not, keep him for as long as he wants to stay. He's the best goalkeeper I've ever seen. He's probably the best goalkeeper the club's ever had. I don't know why. I just think because he's such a quiet fella. He doesn't really do a lot in the way of like PR or like outside advertising or stuff like that. I saw him in a Google advert earlier, Pixel advert, that the club, because they're partnered with a club that was on telly, and I thought, oh, you don't usually see that. And I think that's why maybe he's like not often talked about. He's not talked about being the best in the world as often as he should be.
Yeah.
I don't think he cares if people think that or not. He doesn't seem to have a lot of ego in that kind of way.
No, he doesn't.
But it's a bit of a crime that people don't really think that he's the best goalkeeper in the Premier League. Like, people are saying it's Raya now. Like, it's not.
No.
Like, he might be a good goalkeeper, but like, you take into account the sort of style that Arsenal play and the defence, the way they play. They're very good defensively. They've been less good second half part of the season, but they're still good. But it's not a contest. He's been consistently brilliant for years. I will take 70% of Alisson for a season over no percent of Alisson. It's not even a question for me. Where it leaves Mamardashvili, I don't know. I don't know what's really happening there. Whether he was ever bought. We all thought he was bought as a successor. Perhaps he wasn't. Perhaps he was bought as like a chip to bargain and use and move on at another date. I don't know.
A lot of money.
But but you can play those games. People do play those games. I feel a bit sorry for him if he was brought in on the premise of this, but like, again, it's a gamble from him. You can't come to a club where like you've got a player like Alisson in front of you and think that it's just all going to be smooth sailing. He'll just step aside. He's like,
you wouldn't though, would you? Unless you had an assurance, you wouldn't sign for a club where Alisson's the number one, because you're not going to displace him.
I don't think we'll ever find out about that unless Mamardashvili leaves the club, say in the next year or so. And then he might like say something when he's gone.
It's just he lied to me.
Yeah. Otherwise, I don't think so. But I'm made up with it. It's like it's one of the best. We can only get the contract done because we've got the clause, the trigger. I'd be surprised if we could get the contract done. Otherwise, he's not Dutch enough to sign a new contract.
Yeah, I know. The only new contract he got done is the Dutchman.
Yeah. The only negative about it for me is that it's not for longer. I'm absolutely 100% with Jules. I'd give him a new 5-year deal right now. I just think it's a no-brainer. I'll just be repeating what Jules has said. He's laid the case out perfectly. Everything Jules said, totally agree with. And the only negative about it is that it's only for a year. I would want him at least until his mid to late 30s. He could easily play at the top level to that stage, if not beyond. He could certainly play another 5 years like that.
I don't know whether he wants to. That would be the first thing I'd say. We don't really know what his plans are. Yeah. And secondly, I agree about like goalkeepers don't age the way outfield players do, but I do think Alisson's hamstrings are made of the same stuff that Paul's calves are made of. So that is a concern. Cotton wool.
That's why you got to have a good number two, isn't it? I think that's maybe that's why they signed Mamardashvili, but then again, it's weird that they don't. And he did play when Ali was out, and he didn't let us down.
So again, I said the other week that the light bulb went off for me. They must think that he's shit because Alisson was playing the cup games, and then Alisson gets injured in training the day after the cup game and then misses a
What
game.
has he shown though? To think that what are we not seeing that they think he's shit,
In training,
though?
I can only imagine that,
But,
like,
but
because I can't
yeah, but in
understand why he's not.
the games
He's been okay. He's done nothing
No.
particularly wrong. I think he's done all right, but we're not seeing him every day. What I'm saying is he was not signed to be a backup goalkeeper. There's plenty of goalkeepers they could have got to be a backup goalkeeper. He was signed to be Alisson's successor, and the plan was obviously he'll have been told, look, sit on the bench for a year, learn from Alisson, and then you take over. And then for whatever reason, they've now gone, actually, no, let's extend Alisson for the year. Because I bet you he's fuming about what's gone on. He will have been told that he was taking over because he wouldn't have come here otherwise. He's playing for Valencia. He's highly rated. He could have gone to a lot of clubs. He's chose to come here. Why? Why would you come here to not play? He's too good for that. He's a big reputation.
maybe we loan him.
I think that's
Yeah, I
probably
think
what's
we might
going to
loan
have
him
to
out in the
happen.
summer.
Because
Yeah.
he is not going to sit on the bench next year. I'd be staggered
It's like
if he's
Courtois,
okay
isn't
with
it?
that.
Courtois at Chelsea.
Yeah, I think he'll go on
Courtois went
loan
out to
somewhere.
Atletico Madrid, didn't he, for a couple of years?
I think they'll have
And
to
he
do
went,
that. They'll have to do that, and then maybe
that's all right.
maybe
I
you
don't
bring
mind that.
Yaros back
Doesn't make it a bad
as
deal.
number 2, which I quite like him. I
Yeah.
think he'd be a decent number 2.
Yeah.
But I think whatever the plan was with Mamardashvili has changed, and that's why Alisson's been extended. Because I don't think they were planning on extending Alisson at all. I really don't. They wanted his wages off the wage bill, and now they've gone, actually, yeah, things are shit. Alisson's still great. Not sure about Mamardashvili. Yeah, we'll just extend him. That's what I think's happened. But it's good news that he's staying anyway, because we're already going to be losing some of the key players who we've had over like all the success we've had. A lot of them have gone already. Others will be going this summer. So at least Alisson's not one of them. That's a bonus, because I did think he was going to be one of the ones who was moving on.
Maybe like Paulie at the end of The Sopranos when it's just him left outside the pork store because everyone else is dead and gone, or been moved on, or
in a
been
coma.
gone to prison, or they've turned rat. Yeah.
Silvio.
Yeah. He'd be out.
Terrible what happened to Sil.
Yeah, it was tough to take.
The Bobby one was
It
really
was.
tough as well.
Yeah.
The way Bobby went out, that was a tough one. So score predictions for midweek then. Jill, start with you.
3-1.
Yeah, that would be my pick as well. Paul?
1-1
On aggregate or on the night?
on the night, and we'll go out.
Yeah. God. Imagine.
Well, I mean,
That'll be
I
a
think
fun
there will be a
pod, won't
clamour. There'll be a clamour, and there will be a the club will have a real question to ask themselves then, I think, because again, you've got Brighton, and then you've got. I would say he might, if they were going to sack him, I think they'd still keep him in situ for Brighton, and then dismiss after Brighton, no matter what happens.
So I'm convinced we're going to get beat by
International break.
Brighton, by the way. I said before the game today, I said to John,
12:30 away game at Brighton. Yeah, that feels like a
definitely
trap,
losing it.
doesn't
We've
it?
beat them twice this season. We're not going to beat them 3 times. Brighton are going to get their revenge next week.
And we'll have played that game on Wednesday. They won't have.
Yeah.
It's all set up for Alonso to come in the international break.
We'll see. So, let's hypothetically, if Alonso doesn't want to take anything till the summer, let me ask you both the Gerrard question. I know Dan mooted it
let me
ages
just
ago.
before that, just one point before that. If Alonso says I don't want it till the summer, I'm saying I'm sorry, mate. We're
Okay.
fucking Liverpool.
Yeah.
You either want the job or you don't.
Fair.
So let's say, if he basically knocks it back altogether, I'm at the stage where I would now take a temporary manager. Yes.
And
if
you
that
tell
temporary
Alonso
manager was
to
Steven
do
Gerrard.
one. You tell Alonso to do one if he didn't accept it.
So
now.
hang on, I've stated my case about Alonso.
Yeah, that's. I'm just clarifying that.
Job,
If he said no, I want to take it in the summer.
I'm
you'd
not
say,
letting anyone say. I'm not letting anyone say no. I'll come when I'm ready, not when you need me. We're
I
Liverpool.
agree,
We've
yeah.
got to have some fucking pride.
I agree with
So
that.
that's the first bit. But I don't think Alonso would do that. I think Alonso would say, "Fucking right, yeah, I want to come and manage Liverpool." So, but let's say some bizarre world, either they don't want to offer it to Alonso, or Alonso bizarrely doesn't want to manage Liverpool.
Could be a payoff from Madrid. There could be complications with that.
But let's just say that happens. So yes, I now would accept. I think things are so bad. We need a lift so badly that it's a short-term job, and you need someone to just remove the fucking malaise over the club and try and get us over the line. And that if that's a temporary manager, fine. And if that temporary manager is Gerrard, fine. I would not want him anywhere near the job permanently. I would make it absolutely clear from the word go that it's only to the end of the season, and that and then we're going to look for a new manager after that. I wouldn't be making any sort of noises about if Stevie does well, we'll look at him. It'll just be like, no, this is a fixed term appointment, and then we're going to do a full recruitment process afterwards for someone to manage in a league club. That's what I would do, and that's because that's not a great vote of confidence in Stevie. That's just, things are so fucking shit now. I think they absolutely have to change, and I think that anyone would be able to probably lift this group of players, and Stevie has credibility with the fans. He could reharness Anfield, and that would be enough to get us over the line. But I don't want Stevie as the permanent Liverpool manager. Absolutely not.
Jules?
No.
Mm-hmm.
No. Either if let's say Alonso does want to come, but it's contractual complications, as you say, David, it can't be till the summer, then I'm just going to keep with Slot until the summer. I do not think Steven Gerrard's a good manager. I do not think he might give us a little bit of rah-rah lift, but I actually think things will get worse, not better. That's a hard no from me. Hard no.
Yeah, I think that's where I am as well. And another layer to it as well is, like, I think he's our greatest ever player. I know you can argue the toss about Kenny or whatever. For me, I think Stevie's our greatest ever player. I don't really want to see him being like our equivalent to Les Reed, where it's like, oh, well, we just need a caretaker. Because if he does it once, if it goes wrong with the next manager, it'll be like, oh, let's just get Stevie back in again. No. I agree with you about I wouldn't want him as manager full time. Absolutely not. And yeah, that I wouldn't be in favour of doing that now. I'd probably, unless I say you want Slot to the end of the season, and I sort of agree with that, but it may become untenable. In which case, yeah, I would be not averse to making a change, but I wouldn't be putting Stevie in.
Who would you get instead of Stevie?
I would probably.
I don't know. Just not Stevie. I don't know. Maybe does it really even matter at this point?
It's not going to get that bad with Slot that it'll have to be.
Well, you could say, does it even matter?
It's going to be this,
couldn't you? Because the whole thing's hypothetical.
Yeah, but there'll be some fans who, if it went semi-okay, will be like, give him the job. So
yeah, but I think what we're seeing now will just be carrying on till the end of the season with Slot. I don't think it's going to get much worse.
Well, it's been 6 months of it.
It is. So I think it is.
It's not going to change, is it?
I would lean towards it not getting worse and it just being like this, where it's like win one, lose one, draw one. I know.
You said we've got a great chance in the Champions League. I think
I've changed my mind on that.
To be a dick. I'm not saying this to be a dick.
I didn't say we had a great chance. It didn't. At no point did I say.
All right, sorry. All right, well, whatever.
I said we could win it.
Yeah.
I said worse teams than us have won it. Now I disagree because we're shit.
I think you've consistently overstated how shit we are.
No, I
underestimated how shit we are.
I accept that.
And I've consistently stated we're shit, and I keep being consistently, unfortunately, fucking vindicated.
No,
I think we're a fucking shit show, and it's going to get worse.
See, I was still thinking we've still got like performances in possible. I don't know. I just don't.
I don't think it'll happen, but I wouldn't rule it out. You can't rule it out.
I'm almost ruling it out now. I'm almost ruling it out.
Rule what out?
The only thing I will say, we are on a really
we're not going to win. There's no fucking way we're going to win it. No way. How can you watch that today and think we're going to win the Champions League?
Hang on. See, the thing is, you're equating me saying I couldn't rule it out with I think we'll win it. Those aren't the two things. We're still in it, so it's entirely possible.
Fair,
as Dave said, and I've said, worse teams than us have won it. So it's entirely possible.
So what I would say is,
I'm now not sure.
You're not ruling out Kylie Minogue either. You're not ruling out marrying Kylie Minogue either. So fair enough.
Is there any team that's won the Champions League that would not have beaten Tottenham today? I don't think there is. So that's why.
I think you forget how bad the 2005 team was in the league.
Yeah.
No, it was a team.
We finished below
That was a
Everton.
team, though. This is a mess.
It finished below
That
Everton.
was a limited team. That was a team that had faults, that had problems, but it was coherent and it was together. It had limitations, but it was not really a team. This is a fucking shit show. These are not together. These are all over. They don't know what they're doing.
But they were not a good team.
I like that team as well. No, that's my point.
I still think
as a
this team would beat
collection,
that team,
as a collective group of players, they were absolutely together. They were limited. They had their limitations. There were faults in the lineup, but they were resolutely a group of players who were all together, all pulling the same direction. These aren't.
That team had Steven Gerrard.
Yeah.
And while you've got Steven Gerrard, you've always got a chance. Unless he's your manager. But if he's on the pitch, you've always got a chance. That's what I would say to that. But no, the reason why I'm backing off, it is possible, but I'm backing off from it because to do it, we would have to put in probably 4 or 5 really good performances.
Well, the only thing I say is like,
have we got that in us? I don't think we have.
We haven't got one in us. Never mind 4 or 5.
No, we've still got one in us, I think, but we haven't got enough.
When was the last good performance? You were telling us a minute ago that
we've had good performances in the Champions League.
West Ham was shit.
No, but we've had good performances in the Champions League, which was the whole reason why. It was the whole what was the game? Marseille was decent. What was the one before that one we scored? We beat the Frankfurt. We scored, what was it, 5 against them or something. So we've had good performances in Europe. So if you put in a few good performances, then we've beat Real Madrid, we've beat Atletico Madrid. So that was the logic behind it. But I'm now of the opinion, to do that, we would have to put in quite a few good to really good performances, and I just don't think we've got that in us. Maybe 1 or 2.
No, we haven't.
And we might not even put in a good enough performance on Wednesday night to get through, to then play PSG.
Oh, no, that's what I've just been telling you.
I know. Well, that's why I've backed off from it. That's why I've said I no longer think that.
Hang on. The thing is, though, you say you back off from it. It's not like you were actually advocating that we'll win it.
I know,
you just
I wasn't.
It can happen.
I was saying it exactly.
So you don't have to back off from something you weren't saying.
Yeah, but this is because Paul's twisting me words and making out that I was betting me mortgage on us winning the Champions League.
Paul is making out.
I'm not saying that. I know what you said, and I conceded that point. You are right what you said before. You didn't say we'd win the Champions League. That wasn't what I was trying to say. My point is that I'm trying to say is that I think you've consistently underestimated how shit we are, and I think you're still doing it even now. I think we're a fucking shit show. We're a mess. It's going to get worse.
No, I don't disagree with that, but
That's why I'd sack him tonight. I would get rid of him tonight.
I have said for months and months about when I said we'll get in the Champions League spaces. Did I or did I not say it's because everybody else is shit? I'm not worried because everybody else is shit. I did say that. It was never a vote for us. It was a vote against everyone else. Now the problem is United have got their act together now, so that's one team that's one spot.
And we've got worse.
Yeah, well,
we've definitely got worse.
Have we got worse than that run in October when we lost 9? I don't think we have. I think we're just carrying on at the same.
1-1 against Spurs today. Lost against Wolves. Lost
3-0 to Forest back in October. We're debating how firm the dog shit is that we've stepped in. We're arguing over levels of firmness of the dog shit. It's all still dog shit at the end of the day.
I think we can agree it's really fucking shitty.
It is. But it's not more shitty than it was in October. It's just the same levels of shit.
I think it is. I think it is because he's been saying the same things month after month after month, and nothing's changed. And that's made that in the minds of everybody, fans and players, everyone's just thinking this has got to stop. That's what's made it worse, the psychology of it.
But the thing that's put Champions League qualification under threat is the fact that United have got their act together. Because back in October, I was not contemplating the idea that they'd be above us. They were shit. And then they changed the manager. Correct. They've got their act together. Chelsea are just like a total Jekyll and Hyde. You don't know what's going to happen with them. But I don't think we're going to finish above Chelsea now. I just think they've got more options. They've got a bigger squad. Plus, they're probably going to get knocked out the Champions League this week. So they can just concentrate on that. Although maybe we will as well. Villa, we might as well.
Villa and nothing.
We have still got the FA Cup for one more game anyway. So there's that as well.
Yeah, we're going out to that as well.
Yeah, it is Villa or nothing for me. It's like if we finish above Villa, we might get in the Champions League, but if we don't, We won't, as far as I'm concerned. Are we done? Anything else?
One of us is... We're champions.
I know.
We're fucking champions.
I know, and we spent 450 million on attacking talent. Even the fullbacks were signed because they were attacking, and we've just managed to get worse in attack. Incredible.
Oh dear. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I need to update the listeners. The rat's back.
Oh.
Moved the car back up the driveway 2 nights ago. No, 3 nights ago. It was okay for 2 nights, and then chewed up seats, bits everywhere. At least there was no shit in there this time, but yeah, the little thing that I bought from Amazon that sets off the pulse, that's in the car, didn't stop it from getting in. So yeah, thanks for all the listeners who advised me to buy that. That's money well spent. And,
do you know, I
so
felt
I'm parking
sorry
over
for you
the
when
road
you
again
told
now.
us that the other day.
Yeah, I've got to park over the road again.
It takes a lot for me to feel sorry for you, the arch piss taker. But I did feel for you when you said it was back again. It must be so fucking soul
have to get rid of the car.
Tried everything.
Because the thing is,
it's expensive as well, isn't it?
There's a way
the
in.
repairs have cost you a packet.
Yeah, but it knows it all. The problem is one goes in, the others can smell it, so they can smell the trail and that. So even if you get rid of the one that's going in, others are smelling it and following in, and I don't know how they're getting in. There's some way they're getting in through the engine or whatever, and then there's my car's vulnerable. They can get in, so it's reaching the point where I'm gonna have to just get rid of the car because this is just going to keep happening.
What's to say they won't get into the new car?
Well, there's obviously they're not getting into the neighbours' cars. It's just there's something about my car that it's vulnerable. That one of them must have chewed
I'm guessing you know that because you've asked them. We've asked
the neighbours. Nobody else has got any issues. It's just, and I've had the trap.
What car do they have? Buy that car.
I know. Yeah, there must be a vulnerability in this car, or they've just chewed the way in. I don't know. But yeah, I've still got me problem
Buy
with
a
the
Tesla.
rat.
No one wants to be seeing that. Not even rats.
I know. But I have got a trap out the front, but it's one of those humane ones. So if I catch him, I'm going to drive him to fucking Arne Slot's house and just put him in his fucking car.
Dave, as we're bringing things to a close, are you going to get the pod up tonight? Terry's on the group chat saying, "Will the pod be up tonight, Dave? I don't feel like I've suffered enough today."
Yeah, I'll probably just. I'll post it up now.
Yeah.
Shouldn't
I'll
take
put
too
something
long
on
to
Twitter for
edit
you.
it. Yeah. All right then, are we done?
Yeah.
So I don't think we'll be back on Wednesday night. I think that's one we'll just
Ever again.
let's do it on maybe. No, I don't think I can do it on Thursday. You're gonna have to do it Wednesday night, unfortunately. Yeah. All right then. So yeah, we'll be back Wednesday night after the Galatasaray game, come what may. Fingers crossed it's a more upbeat one than this, but I wouldn't bet on it. Thanks for listening. Catch you soon.